be fine.
Wait.
If I really have to,
Then how is the audio happening? Is it playing off of there?
Wait, are we sharing computer audio on this?
Yeah, because that's how you would get the audio, because it's playing off of here.
Okay. I don't know how this works. How do we share computer audio?
Oh, it's sharing.
Okay. Once again, this is too loud.
Let her know.
Let me know. All right.
Spacebar.
Everyone, my name is Lisa, and this will be a brief retrospective on Homeward. So I suppose the first question in my mind is, what's Homeward Bound? Do you mean the funny dog movie? No. Do you mean the Simon and Garfunkel song? What was that? No. And I am in middle school! Ha ha ha! I wanted to make a Homestuck because I read Homestuck, but I don't think can't hear you. Can I lower the volume? Sorry, this mini is really loud. Did that stop it?
You just paused the share. Wait, no.
I paused my, I don't know.
No, it still says, you are viewing Kristen Morello's screen. But it's just, I cannot hear the music anymore.
Okay. I'm gonna play a couple snippets of each song and then just pause the audio. So here's the thing. I read Homestuck and decided I wanted to do that also. Could I write? Was I woke? Was I a good artist? This is obviously a perfect combination. So, Lisa, what's the plot of your story? Well, that's easy. There's a all right. Whew. Well, let's have to pause and unpause it. Remind me to pause and unpause the music. We just have to find where I wrote it down. There's a specific memory I have back in my art class where my teacher was like, hey, Lisa, you know that thing you constantly say that you want to make? And I'm like, yeah. He's like, maybe you should actually write down the plot of that. And so I did in a notebook. So we just have to find the notebook. I can't find the notebook. Can you hear me over this audio? Cool. Hey, look, I found this file in Google Docs. Maybe it can help me. No, it doesn't. It stops before the first game. And now I hear you ask, first game? And I say, yes, first game. Let me explain. Can you hear me over this audio? So, Homeward Bound is going to be a transmedia experience. The definition of that is a story that's told through multiple overarching adventure, with its 3 movies and multiple tie-in comic books and animation, or the Star Wars extended universe. Prequel comic book, Homeward Bound 1, the game. Prequel comic book 2, Homeward Bound 2, the game. Homeward Bound 3, the game. Possible 4th Ghost Book. All of these pieces of media would have been mandatory. I don't know who I thought was going to make this a free or when I was going to do it, but I thought that this is the amount of product I was going to need to make this happen. So here's the thing. Here's what I have left that isn't the notebook. Inside my Middletown K-12 drive, which is not deleted, there is about 3 gigabytes of me hiding my writing underneath my freshman files. If you go to any of my freshman files, about page 3 or so, you'll see that I actually put a bunch of page breaks and then just started writing stories. So using that data, I'm now going to try to present what I remember about the story. Here's the prequel. There's 2 angels. One of them's good and one of them's bad. So there you have a test made by God to see who gets to manage this universe. The good one wins, the bad one loses. So the bad one chooses the void to make the planet blow up into these 3 chunks that float all next to each other. He then splits... I'm sorry, I just hit Chris in the face for talking. That's what you get. The other angel gets split into 2 separate characters, F and chat. So, also there's like this concept for like if you can like connect people's storylines using like strings and shit, it's wild. Just like the good angel does say he didn't really use it, but the other one used it a lot because he's a sicko. And he's also experimented with the void. And you start using it to mess up the storyline bad. It goes too far, which makes the angel that got split into 2 try to start trying to help people on the side. The main goal of the story is to stop the angel, but will that happen? Probably not. Start one. There's a government called the United Levels. Each of the chunks of the planet are called levels. Each of the levels are split into zones. I don't remember why this is the case. I think there might be aliens. I remember there being aliens, but I'm not sure. There's some weird stuff happening. The main character is Ben. He's a little stupid, but that's fine. He gets 2 detectives to help him on his journey to the edge of level 1. I don't know why they're going to the edge of level 1. I don't actually remember the plot. I don't actually remember the plot of Homeward Bound or why anything is I spat everywhere. That's fine. At some point, Ben starts acting odd, but they're like, it's fine. And then Ben kills T, and then Locke kills Ben, and then she falls off the edge of level 1. The next game, it's fine though. You can revive people. You can't revive Locke and T so easily though, because they're not human. I don't remember why. It's time to talk about Host and Rosie. We derailed the rest of the story. I spent most of the time talking about these 2 and no one else. Host is tall and I thought he was hot. Rosie was a kid of a bad dad. Host adopts her, but not before she gets her arm and leg cut off. Basically, the only 2 things that matter about these characters is that Host is tall and Rosie is a cute kid. Fortnite also ripped me off because Host runs a show called Zone Wars, which is the name of a Fortnite game mode that came out 2 years ago, which means that they stole from me. Hey, here's the real main character. We're on the Homeward Bound 2. It's Jane. Jane doesn't know who she is. That's it. She I don't know what the plot is. Oh my god, it's game 3. So the gang's all there. They fight Fate, I think. There's another character called Karma. I don't know what he does. There's a 4th game.
The giant enemy.
That's all I remember. So, those are my slide outlines that were from like about like a week ago. And if I could be real with you guys, I was very upset with myself. Because this is something I spent like 4 years of my life. Just this is all I thought about, was this story. And after like about like a year being, oh that's stupid, and telling myself not to think about it again, I just forgot all of it. Literally all of it. And it was just like, I was like, oh god, like all that's like gone forever. And I was just very sad. I just didn't know what I was gonna do for this presentation. And then something really interesting happened. Because, so something really funny happened, and because of that, we're going to have to change this PowerPoint. This will be a horrifyingly long retrospective on Homeward Bound. I'm so happy about this joke. So about 5 days ago, I was talking about this on the FaceTime call, and Kristen goes, hey, Lisa, did you check the basement? And I go, I mean, I'm pretty sure I checked the basement, but she goes, let's go check the basement again. So we get up to go check the basement, and I turn the lights on, and there I see a bright blue notebook sitting on a desk, and I go, hey, LOL, wouldn't that be so funny if that was the notebook? And I open it up, and it is. This is the notebook. Inside the pages, only about 5 of these pages are written on. But the pages that are written on include Well, 2 of them include story beats when I was trying to write my own musical, and it sucks super bad. That might be a different PowerPoint, but there's not enough content for that. But the rest of this is an entire plot description of every plot beat in the story. So I know everything now. I'm like, this is the Bible. I've discovered the Bible again, and it was sitting on top of a lightsaber box. Okay, let me demonstrate the validity of my holy texts using some slides I made before I discovered the holy texts. Can you hear me? Okay, so this is an exercise in what I remembered versus the truth. This is featuring the one full document that I wrote that I showed on that slide that was like 5 slides ago. All the slides that are coming up are from the creation, or created before I found the notebook. So let's do that. Please. I was waiting. Okay. That's the Dies Irae. That's the oldest piece of me. Okay. So back before the world was split into 3, the big guy, because I thought it was funny if I called God that, had to assign an archangel to watch over the world and its story. The only 2 archangels that could possibly enjoy the job, and those were Fate and Destiny. So, hey, we hit our first character. So only 1 line into the document, we got our first character. So we're gonna take a brief look at talking about my old art. Hey, Lisa, why do you draw your faces that long? Wow, that's awesome. It's because of the anime book you bought when you were in middle school? Great. So, Fate's bad, Destiny's good. In the middle is concept art of this character before I finally solidified them. A specific memory I have about the art that's in the middle is that I remember drawing it, my mom getting mad at me because she thought I was drawing the devil. And I went, no, Mom, I'm drawing an angel. Leave me alone. But looking at it now, that looks very scary. So I just what's like going on here. On the left is Destiny, on the right is Fate. Why did Hey Twitch, hey, why does your smiley face emoticon look like my shitty characters from middle school? I'm a little mad about that, but I'm gonna pretend like it's fine. And back to it. So, oh my god, there's so much fucking text here. We're not gonna read all of that. Show don't tell wasn't something I understood. I didn't know what those words meant. So basically, they do a bunch of contests. Destiny wins because he's nice. Fate loses because he's mean. Next slide. Oh my god, go to the next slide. Okay, so the final contest is a war. Isn't that epic? Destiny gets assigned to Prince, and he shows him everything that's good and nice, so the Prince is nice. Fate shows his Prince everything that's evil, so he becomes mean. They have a fight, and Destiny's Prince wins. So Fate decides it's time to cheat. The big guy inexplicably leaves the contest, so he can no longer moderate it. He's basically like, I'm done here, and he goes. And immediately when that happens, Fate shows the mini Prince the void, which then transforms him into a monster, and he splits the world like this. So Destiny is enraged. He seals the demon prince away in the core of the planet. The Dies Irae gets loud. He seals the demon prince away in the core of the planet, and he goes to confront Fate, who then stabs him. Genius plan. He then splits him into 2 smaller angels, Comedy and Tragedy, who are then forced to listen to Fate by being chained. We got more characters! 2 for the price of 1, baby! Let's check them out! Wow, so on the left is On the left is Comedy, on the right is Tragedy. Don't they just look like they're having such a great time being enslaved by Fate? They look like they're doing great. Character design. Anyway. Is this strange document hidden in my Middletown K-12 drive accurate? Let us consult the holy texts. me explain. This is a couple of brief instances where it goes off the rails. First of all, oh my god, why did I put that? Shut up. Okay. I need you to go sit over there. Okay. First of all, Destiny originally loses the second contest because he makes these weak sauce characters that I called Surf Boy and Surf Bay, end quote, which I think was a joke of myself, but when I read it, I actually groaned out loud, so I believe that this is a good. Secondly, when Fate loses during the third contest, he does not immediately show his press the void, because he is a smart villain and not an idiot. He has a plan. He has a scheme. Step 1, get in cahoots with Wanderlost. Is it Wanderlost? I can't read my own handwriting. Wanderlost is a company. What did they do? What did they do before parting with Fate? The sacred text don't say. I like to think that they were an internet provider. Yes, Jasper?
It's Wanderlost. I remember you talking about it.
So you're telling me that for the rest of these slides I spell it wrong?
It's an A. It's not no.
So you're telling me that for the next 60 slides I spell it wrong?
So
that is awesome. Thank you so much. Step 2, help Wanderlost gain political power. Wow, a corporation gaining a lot of political power? I can't imagine where I came up with that zinger. Step 3, it's time for the void. My previous notes didn't really talk about how kind of freaky scary the void is, so let me describe it the way the holy text describes. Quote, the thing that existed before that universe was born. Only the big guy could look into the void without suddenly being possessed by all the nothing in the universe. So that's fun. Fate shows the winning prince, now king, the void. It doesn't go well for him. Possessed by the void, I don't know why I'm doing this line delivery. He turns into a monster. He takes his sword and he strikes the world into three with another note that we missed. An unnamed company, Winky Face, secures the pieces together of the world with giant chains. Hey Lisa, why isn't the plot of your story securing the chunks of the world together after defeating the big monster at the end of the game, Forehead Omegalol? That's because the world, because of gravity, it would have reformed on its own, but the chains actually keep the pieces apart, not together. It's so deep! On the left is a drawing I put next to the notes explaining the prequel of the story that I have labeled helpful diagram, which I'm going to sob. It's the funniest thing I've ever seen because this explains nothing.
Wait, this was written back then.
This is a part of the holy. This is a illustration from the holy texts. Part of the manuscript. It is a illustrated manuscript. Okay, back to it. Destiny and Fate came up. Whoa, I have no idea how loud this music is gonna be, so please tell me if you can hear me. Okay. So, they team up to stop the monster and they trap his soul on a key. There was an incredibly taxing battle on Destiny, because it's the trap card, and Fate stabs Destiny. It is a song from Doom. If I let it keep playing, you won't be able to hear me. So I'm gonna say the next couple of things because when I click on the slide again, it will continue to be loud Doom music. So he takes Destiny's God-given world-building powers. He splits them into Tweedledee and Tweedledum like we talked earlier. And basically, we missed a lot of details that were in the holy manuscripts that were not in that incredibly long Middletown K-12 drive. So during the rest of these slides, I'm going to continue to mention things I forgot because I think it's funny.
World premiere.
One! So, what did I remember before about Homeward Bound 1? Nothing. Besides the characters. I legitimately did not remember anything about the plot, which is not a great sign, because it's supposed to be the main story. So, it's time for our main character. Everybody give it up for Ben. On the right is my recent drawing of him so I can actually see my drawings. On the top is a note that says, bless, sorry, future me. I feel very sorry looking at this drawing. I don't know what the keyblade is. The holy manuscripts do not say what the keyblade is, but this is Ben. Ben lives on level 2. He has no personality besides being too close, an awkward white boy, which is his only character has no pupils. Surely there's nothing haha, wait, if he lives on level 2, how'd he get on level 1? That's not right. Ben's goal is to get back to his home on level 2. Hey, wait a second, is that why I called it home? That's why it's called that! I'm gonna be real, I had never heard of the movie before I knew the name of the story, and then like everybody told me that the movie was a thing that existed. I got very upset. Because I thought it was clever. Anyway, Ben has to make friends or this isn't an RPG. If this is an RPG, I still don't know. Yep. I'm gonna have to make sure that you guys could hear this audio when I come back because this is very important. Anyway, Ben has to make friends or else this isn't an RPG. I don't even know if it's an RPG, but I'm just gonna assume it is. And those friends that he makes are detectives for some reason. It's time to meet Locke and Key Smith because I'm very funny. I'm just gonna let this play for a little bit if you want to hear my old art. Just hold on a second. Let it happen, hold on. Hold on. Inspector Gadget. Okay, so these are the two best characters. Locke is more reckless. She's the one on the left, the white one. And Key is more like Branch from Trolls. But they're both good aligned and they're both on crack. They're not human. In early development, at first point, they were both one character and they were the bad guy. And then I immediately changed that and I made them two characters. In the beginning, Key was trying to get in love, like cahoots, with Locke. And then I changed my mind and made them related. Pulled a Star Wars on you.
Wow.
I didn't want to, how the fuck did I do that?
Lisa, you pinched Homeward.
I hate your touchpad. Anyway. Okay, so this is the drawing that I had trouble drawing Key because I made him look too much like Carcat, and I had to redo the entire drawing because I deleted it on impulse. So this is Locke and Key. In case you can't notice, I'm dressed like Locke in order to do this presentation better. Yeah, that's it. Next slide. Why is the theme song so loud? Anyway, they go on a quest together. There's no way this could end poorly. They basically go road tripping for a while and do like nothing because I actually had no game mechanics planned, so I'm not entirely sure what would have happened at this point in the story. But then Ben starts to get a little, he starts to, you know, Ben, you know, he gets a little, so you remember when I said he had no pupils and that's not suspicious? I was lying. Ben is actually chock full of the void. Just so much of it. How to get in there, no one knows. I know, that may laugh. Anyway, Ben starts to get a little, no, he starts to get a little, you know, and then the void inside of Ben, it decides to do this, and it's like, no, Ben, no, void Ben, and the void, and now he's possessed by the void, and then Key decides to go investigate why Ben's acting weird. I'm sure nothing bad will happen.
Are dead.
Key is dead. Locke then has to kill Ben. She tries to revive Key, but it doesn't work. And then somehow she trips and falls off of level 1, barreling towards her certain doom. Except not because Homeward Bound 2 starts with a skydiving minigame, but you wouldn't have known that at the time because it would have been like a year or two for the next game came out. It's like that, except she's alone and her brother just died. Yeah, and that would be the end of Homeward Bound 1. Were you guys typing in chat? I'm gonna kill you. All right, here we go. Give it a second. Give it a second. Give it a second. I should have trimmed this audio more. Okay. Whoa! I love this song, but apparently it's really loud. So the new main character is Jane. She's about as fleshed out as Ben. She's a tennis, no baseball, no color guard player or something. Basically whatever sport I was interested at the time, she was then doing that sport. She doesn't remember literally anything about herself because her memory's been wiped, but she's starting to remember. She's trying to find her parents. This is a jazz song. In case you can't tell, I'm not entirely sure what the character who can't remember anything about looks like, which is kind of ironic that I can't even decide on a design for her in my sketches. So when I did the art for her, I just kind of threw it in a blanket. So this is the best I've got. I'm What's this chat say? Oh. Okay. Yeah, that's what she looks like, I think. I don't even know, which is ironic. Hold on. Okay, good. So, Jane is already on her adventure to find her parents. She ends up running into Locke, who is still trying to get Key repaired, and she just has Ben in her backpack, I suppose. Oh, something I didn't mention because I glossed over in the first slides. When you die in this world, if you're near like a revived technology thing, you turn into like a little chunk that you can then use to revive someone. It is either a lock shape or a key shape, depending on if you're left-handed or right-handed, which doesn't make any sense. You remember that ambidextrous people exist, and that would cause some serious problems with this genius plan I wrote down. So Locke is just running around with just like some like change in her back pocket, except that change is like one of her friends who killed her brother, which is super epic if you think about it. I'm gonna have to click on this, and the very loud jazz music is gonna come back for a second, but it's fine. Oh, hey, what's this abandoned lab doing here? Hey, Locke, why is your bag vibrating? Oh, no! Oh, no! Oh, no! Please, don't come back out! Oh, that was so bad! Oh, no! Oh, no!
Dead on the ground.
So Locke's dead too now. Jane managed to stop Ben after he got revived by the lab technology, but Locke is also dead. So Jane is just running around holding 3 dead people in her back pocket, which is epic. I hope the next... Why are the midis so much louder than the normal songs? I wonder why the midis are louder. I don't know. I'm going to hit spacebar a bunch of times so all this text loads, and then I'm going to say all of it. Okay, so the MIDI can't load because its event hasn't been called when I go backwards. Epic. So, okay, Boomer, what's in the lab? They go into the lab, and there's technology in the lab that's able to revive the detectives, which is crazy because the other tech couldn't do that. Lab is probably Wanderlost, I think. The notebook doesn't say. This is the time when we reveal that Ben was actually a void experiment by Wanderlost for some reason. My gut says that Wanderlost is trying to make a controllable army, but I don't know if that's canon or not. I might just be inventing that because that sounds cool. Anyway, Jane starts to remember pretty much everything because this lab was part of her past, and she is able to remember that she's actually supposed to be the main character of like the entire like overarching story, as designated by the string thing I was talking about, by Destiny. Fate got mad and kind of like wiped her memory so she couldn't be the main character, but that obviously didn't hold. She's able to repair some of Ben's like soul key thing, but it requires her to die. Proto Lisa Marola killed a woman to repair a man. I'm not proud about that.
Wait, so was Ben one of the principals?
No, he's not.
Okay.
That was like way in the past.
Okay.
I'm answering lore questions. This is fascinating. Anyway. Except I'm just kidding, because we can't get there yet. We have to make a detour. Remember this, where I said tie-in story comic book? See, the problem is that we have 2 more characters that we haven't fully discussed yet. These characters account for most of the writing I did. If we look at this document breakdown, there is only 2 direct plot summaries that I wrote in my Middletown K-12 drive. One of them even includes these 2 characters, right? There's only 2 documents that actually attempt to write down the plot of Homeward Bound. Then there are 2 spin-off stories I wrote, which still include both of these characters, right? And then there's 5, count them, 5 spin-off stories featuring just these 2 characters. These 2, arguably, I would argue in this retrospective that my focus on these 2 characters is what killed Homeward Bound as a whole, because I was too busy writing about them to write down the rest of the story. So, we must discuss Host and Rosie. This is the only other dog dog movie I can think of that had like a title card on Disney Plus that could visually match the other title cards. So that's why I picked it. Anyway, this next slide is probably gonna. Oh. I am gonna hope to God that this. Can you guys hear me over that music? No? Okay. So I'm just gonna. I can read the text that's here. So. One day in middle school, a friend of mine invited me to a Yogscast roleplay server. I did not watch Yogscast. I created a cyborg character who I called Host, who ran a knockoff Hunger Games. I was not good at role-playing. There's one quote from that I remember that I thought was very funny, which was, quote, "The secret was crocodiles," end quote. I don't know what that means anymore. All I know is that phrase is like a trigger sentence that will send me into a fit of rage. Funnily enough, after this time that I roleplayed for one day, no one really talked in that channel anymore, as far as I could tell, which means that they all found a different channel to talk in because I suck so bad, which is the funniest thing of all time to me. Anyway, flash forward a couple months when I was writing my cool new story, and I decided that I was going to put this character in it, but I had to redesign his character because he had no personality and he sucked. So, which then leads to me, this one character kind of overtaking the entire story. This next slide is probably going to have audio that's really loud, which is a problem because there's a lot of moving text on this slide. So we're just going to hope to God that it works. This is Biggie Biggie Hole. Let me go. Can you hear me over this? Awesome. Okay, so we're going to talk about Gabriel Davian, aka Host, is the host / lead developer / engineer of the very popular television show Zone Wars, which is filmed in the Hub Dome. Will it load? Will it load? There it goes. Which he also developed because he is super smart. Here's some notes on the Hub Dome and how it works. You don't have to read them because they actually make no sense and they're bad. Hub scientists developed the modern revive tech. I'm not going to put the notes here because I didn't take the photos, so just ignore the fact that it says here's the notes. Did I mention he's really tall? Because if you Control F my Middletown K-12 drive at all the documents I mentioned earlier, only like 9% of the time would I talk about this character about mentioning how tall he was. It's actually kind of infuriating to try to read this text to like pass. I just would not shut up about how tall he was. Also, he's a cyborg, and cyborgs are discriminated against. Why did I write that into the story if it didn't really come up? Did I think I was being cool by creating a fake type? Cyborgs have special powers, but they're deadly for some reason. I don't know. A lot of people think that. Let's see what people say. And my mouse is gone. I'm going to kill you. Okay. Anyway, here's my old art. We're gonna have to take a moment to talk about the fact that he has no skull. Why did I not draw any of my characters with a skull? I remember specifically one time I was in a Discord group where a bunch of people played the digital dragon game Rising, and I showed them my art, and one of them said, "That's good, you can draw the faces too long," and I was so mad about it, I cried. Hey, Lisa, where's the skull? I don't know where the skull is. Well, that's awesome, because he's gonna have a brain. So this is me trying to do my modern design of him, but it's really hard to draw him because he looks like that. Something funny that you might have noticed if you squinted at him for more than 5 seconds is that he originally started out as a weak character design. And then like I immediately realized that his character design was fun, and I changed it. Also, the first under my once I realized that I could I turned on this first I told this process. God damn it.
We can't hear you!
When will you stop being able to hear me?
Right after you showed us Markiplier 2.
Okay, so, something you might not have noticed if you looked at him for less than 5 seconds is that he originally started off as a Wheatley redesign, as a human.
Just realized that.
I can't believe you just realized that, Kristen.
No, I knew that. I knew that from the start.
He is also the first of one of many brave kings to undergo a process I like to call, Lisa realizes a character might be considered hot, so she then decides to make them not a twig anymore. He is the first of many of these brave soldiers underneath my character design supervision who goes from being a stick to being triangle-shaped.
and my character designs. Once again, everybody's talking and I'm hitting all the buttons to try to make the thing go. But every single time I mouse over it, it disappears. It literally disappears. like I don't know where it's at. Okay, where is that? Right? Like I'm not going crazy with mouse. Okay, I'm gonna read the chat later.
Okay, two genders, twink and triangle.
Shut up. Okay, it's time to talk about the other member of this dynamic duo, Rosie. Rosie is a child who is very, very sad. Her dad is abusive. That's not good. F, sad. So, comedy and tragedy are kind of on the run from fate. This is before the events of Homeward Bound 1. They're just like running around and they find Rosie and they're like, we are going to help this one sad child in particular in a world of hardship for some reason. Tragedy goes on a journey and he sees a filming of Zone Wars and he goes, yes, this TV show host looks like a great father. We are going to make him the dad. So they lead Rosie to host and they tie them together using the strings and then they give her like a pendant to commune with them. This is something that only shows up in one document, but then it shows up again in Homeward Bound 3, so it's important. Excuse me, I need to drink more water. My throat hurts doing this tuber voice. So they bond. It's cute. Oh no, Rosie's dad is actually looking for her for some reason. Host takes him to court for custody, except he goes to TV court for some reason, which is also completely legally binding because the government system of the United Levels is super weird. He wins, but in order for drama, because that's how the TV court works, they say that Rosie's dad gets 24 hours to say goodbye, and you can guess how that goes. He works for Wanderlost, and fate tells him it's time for him to bind his Isaacs. The joke means that he is going to sacrifice her for God. This is a biblical reference. Rosie contacts Host somehow, and Host goes to save her, but not before her entire arm and leg get cut off. Monka S. Host has to use his cyborg abilities, which also undoes his cover as being not a cyborg, which sucks. But it all works out in the end. She's saved, and like Host is like, hey, you want some new arm and leg? Because I can make those. Like, and then she's like, yeah, but make them like obviously cyborg stuff, because I want to be like my cool new dad who doesn't suck. And it's so cute, dudes. Wow. That also, can I talk about the fact that there's only like, there's reason why there's no photo here is because I have a giant stack of documents in the corner next to my computer that has all my old fan art of all my characters. But like, I found like one drawing of Rosie and then like I misplaced it. I just like didn't draw her, so this is like my guess as to what she looks like. I think I knew she had blonde hair and I knew that she like used to wear it up, and I know that she has the metal arm and leg that look like tube socks. That's about it. I was just constantly drawing Host. Anyway, can you hear me over this? My mouse is gone. Okay, so the audio, okay, that's epic. So if I did, I wrote so many, all those 5 documents are all me just like writing like fake sad stories about them, and they are actually unbearable to read. But if you Venmo me $5, I will read them, but you have to pay me to do so. That's not important, though, because the only reason why I brought them up this much is because they show up in the next story. I put a very long slide transition on this one. Awesome. Before you get your hopes up, there is not a Homeward Bound 3. This is a fan-made trailer. Okay. Can you hear me over this? Alright, it is time for the gang to get together. Okay, somehow Lock and Key get to level 3, and they connect with the Damians who are like, hey, let's work together to stop Wanderlust, because they suck. Also, they took over the Hub Dome. In case I glossed over it, that's where they filmed Zone Wars. It's also very, like, a big technologically advanced machine, so it's kind of a bad thing that the scary techno people have control of the scary techno machine. So, Host, Rosie, and the Smiths, they stop part of Wanderlust, and they get control of Hub Dome, which is, yay, that's good. So they're able to revive Ben and Jane. Ben is back, and he's not cursed, and it's all good. So here's the thing. Ben has not been, like, conscious since the middle of Homeward Bound 1, and that's been several months ago. So the dude is just kind of, like, very confused. He does not know that he basically killed 3 people, which is kind of epic if you think about it. So they all kind of learned that Wanderlust is going to, like, do all this weird occult stuff, And then it's mentioned in one version of the holy text that the void monster breaks out here, and then, excuse me, in another version of the holy text, which I wrote later, it says that it breaks out later. But anyway, we're just gonna say it breaks out here because that's the earlier version. Finale. Rosie remembers that pennant thing that she had when she was a sad child. She uses it to summon comedy and tragedy who have just been fucking lost, I guess. I don't really know what they've been up to. Isn't it kind of hilarious how these characters have not been here except for like the past like they were very important in the first part of the story, and then they just were gone for 2 whole games, which is kind of amazing. Jane is able to use her main character status to make Destiny whole again somehow. I don't know how. I never wrote that part. There is a final battle. The monster, who I called Jeremy as a joke for some reason, is defeated. Fate is also defeated. Destiny gets his world-building powers back and casts Fate into the void. I'm sure that won't be a bad idea. Someone is typing in the chat.
Okay, I need to interject here to say that I remember why they're called Jeremys but you and I had an inside joke in freshman year because there was like this dude named Jeremy who was in our classes, and he said and we said to each other there are only 2 types of Jeremys. There are completely good Jeremys and completely bad Jeremys. There's no in between Jeremys. And I remember that inside joke.
I remember this now. Yeah. Anyway,
I think his name Jeremy. I think his name Jeremy because he's the worst kind of Jeremy.
Yes, you're right. You're right. Thank you for that lore. I'm so glad we have another historian in chat. Yes, yeah. There is a yes. That's why he's called Jeremy. Okay, so everything that Wanderlust has been doing bad is fixed. Ben's soul is fully healed by Destiny, so he has a soul again. That's epic. Who offers to give him back his pupils because he's like, he has no pupils this whole time. I don't actually know if he said yes. It feels kind of poetic to me that I don't know. And they're all friends now. Yay. Can I? So, there's a couple of things that are missing from the holy text. 2 angels. Put designs here. I didn't put the designs here. I don't think. They might show up in a couple seconds if I click next. We'll find out. I don't remember exactly what they do, but I named them Karma and Isabel. Karma does something heroic. I don't remember what. There is one drawing of... yeah, I'm going to explain that in a second, Kristen. I just realized I also didn't put the art of Jack and Lily up here. So we're gonna have to talk about that one too. You know what? Let me go grab my stack of documents for this.
No, shut up. That's my part.
My stack of documents are in here.
What? Wait, what?
This is all my old
You named your cat after...
We're going to talk about that part when I get to that part of the slide. Shut up. We're going to get to that slide in a couple seconds, Kristen. I know it's on the screen, but I haven't said it out loud. You don't understand. I haven't renovating the slide yet. That isn't good. Oh my god. There is so much here. There is so many documents, you guys. And they're not organized anymore. They were organized at some point, and they are no longer organized. Actually, you know what? Okay. I'm just gonna hope to God that the one in the middle, I think, is Isabel. I am not sure. I am honestly not sure. Character, but it's one drawing in the stack of documents. There's a character going telling Jane that she forgot to save, which is I continue to think that the 14 years off that's her decimated companion. Of it to the side of Jane. I'm swear to God, if I hit spacebar and they show up, no, because then we'll go to the final slide on this side. Found it. This is that. This is who I think Isabel is. That's also another. And as you can tell, I have no idea how faces work. And then Karma is just like a triangle, which is kind of epic. He's straight up. I basically designed illustrator for that character existed. This is her ground. Huh? Everyone knows your name? Oh yeah, everyone. There's so many people that don't know this. Kind of insane. You know what's also more insane? The fact that I separated specific art to talk about the next 2 characters I'm going to bring up, and I don't see it. Never mind, I found it. So, we are going to talk about 2 characters who are written in the Holy Text but did not actually make an appearance in story. So these are characters that I designed when I was part of a group of art students who wanted to make a webcomic. I'm not going to say the name of the webcomic out loud because it's too embarrassing. But basically, we were going to make this like web series, and I had devised a couple of characters. And there's basically a proto-host character. He's basically like a weird TV show host who's tall. He plays like a very popular character who's scary, but he's actually very nice. And he has a little sister. In this art, she's labeled Madison, but I changed her name to Lily. This is what they look like. I forgot about these characters for years, and then we got cats, and then we're like, what are we gonna name the cats? And I remembered these character names, and I'm like, LOL, let me suggest these, and then everybody said, yeah, sure. So I have been living with the guilt that technically Jack is named after this guy.
Oh my god, damn.
Technically Jack is named after this, which is not great for my heart. Also, something important that you might have mentioned is that in this video game, I never described any game mechanics. That's because I was never sure what those were. I honestly, it's not written in the holy text, it's not written in my documents. I don't know if I ever mentioned it in video. I don't think I did. I don't think I ever described how this game would actually work, which makes me a very bad game design student. However, it makes me a game design student nonetheless. I'm honestly really glad I found the notebook. If I didn't have like 4 responsibilities that I've all been avoiding doing for Animal Crossing, I would say here that I'd spend quarantine trying to like fix this story up and like start trying to draw it, but like I don't think I'm gonna do that. But the comedy potential of me going like, oh, I'm gonna do a game jam of Homeward Bound is like high, right? There used to be a part of my life where like I couldn't like think about all these old weird stories I came up with without like cringing, but like it's just like I was just making these stories and trying to be a game designer, even if I wasn't good at it, you know. And I'm just like, I'm happy I remember it now, because I just think it's really funny. Like I mean, like, and there's some interesting stuff in here. I just need some heavy rewrites, and I need to think about how this would actually work narratively, because right now it doesn't at all. I need to think about how this would like work as mechanics too, because it doesn't work like that either. I need like 20 years. And then maybe it'll be playable, but yeah. Shut up. This is the musical theme of the actual movie Homeward Bound. Anyway, that's my retrospective.
Wow.
Oh my god.
I need to pee.
Wow.
That was so much.
Revolutionary. It was how was it 1040?
How long was that?
It was an hour.
Fuck, really?
Yeah.
That was 69 slides. I'm sorry if I didn't realize it was that long. I'm
So
sorry.
valid.
When I was
Haha,
pregnant,
nice.
I was like hitting about 30 minutes.
I'm just like so amazed by how your brain is able to like